Good morning, everyone. I'm Amrei, coming to you from Vienna, Austria, and this is my second episode of this, I guess, Yarny podcast. I uploaded my first video just a few days ago, and I swore to myself that if I gained even like 1 subscriber, that I'd keep doing this for the time being. And yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago, I woke up to a lovely message of a viewer who apparently really enjoyed my video, and it just warmed my heart, honestly, and like, thank you so much for that encouragement. And that made me decide, yes, I want to keep going. So thank you to everyone who watched the first video and for the comment. Thank you so much. It's really nice of you. So today is a bit of a special episode, I guess, because there's several things happening. First of all, something that is funny and that I want to get out of the way is that I published my first and probably only knitting pattern on Monday, which was the same day that I published my first video. And I failed to mention this in the video because I recorded that video 3 hours before I published the pattern. And I did not know I was going to publish the pattern that day because it was a long time coming. I designed that design last year. The pattern test happened in February and March. And then, well, life got the better of me. And then it was summer, and it was just about the polishing touches basically on the pattern, but it was enough of a mental barrier to just completely block it out. And no one's going to buy a scarf pattern in the summer. So I decided I'm going to publish it in the fall, mid-September. I did publish it on the 15th of September, so how much for mid-September? Reached that goal. And something that I need you to know first is that this is a charity pattern, and all of the net earnings, so everything after Ravelry fees, will go to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. It's a wonderful organization that provides medical services to the children who have been affected by, let's call it, mass extermination event. We all know what's happening at this point. We've known for 2 years. Anyways, the pattern is available on Ravelry, and it's a scarf, and it's called the Koerbchen Scarf, or it's the German word for little basket. And I could have called it basket weave scarf, but I don't know, Koerbchen is just cuter. Anyways, this is the scarf. This is the first sample that I made. The scarf comes in 2 sizes, a small and a large, and this is the large. And the inspiration for this scarf was basically a skein of fancy fingering yarn that I got from a yarn festival that I didn't know what to do with, but I really wanted to use it. So I'm going to show you this in detail. This is the edge here. Yeah, this is my first sample. This is made out of Cashmerino sock by Woodland Fiber Arts, who is an Austrian yarn dyer. And I got this yarn, I think, last year at a yarn festival happening in Vienna. That uses exactly 1 skein of fingering, and you can adjust the length as you wish, because the pattern repeat is very short, so you can really use up as much yarn as you can and want to. And the size small is very similar to lots of the mini scarves that have been around. I mean, everybody knows the Sophie scarf. I think everybody has made 1 or 10. And this is the small see. And this uses up less than 50 grams of fingering weight yarn. And again, you can customize it as you want. But basically, 50 grams skein, 100 grams skein, and you can still mix and match however you want. You could make it skinny and 5 meters long for all I care. You're free to do whatever you want. But yes, I published this pattern. It's available in English and German. And again, all proceeds go to the Palestine Children Relief Fund, because I've always, for a few years, wanted to publish a knitting pattern, but it always seemed like such a large thing to do. And it actually is a large thing, even with this kind of a simple design. And I'm probably never going to do this again. I mean, mark my words, maybe I will, but for now I think I'll leave it at that. And then I was kind of scared of the whole financial aspect of it, because I realized that it's not good for me to monetize my hobbies. So I definitely did not want this to be like a source of income for me. And since I do earn a livable wage with the job I have, I feel like I have enough money. I do not need to earn money from a knitting pattern. Thought, yeah, let's make it a charity pattern, because I was inspired by Eva from Stockinette Bitch, who is a fabulous yarn YouTube. So I decided, yes, my pattern sales are going to Gaza, because the whole topic has really taken up a lot of space in my mind, which I think is a normal thing. It should be a normal thing to care about mass slaughter. Like, absolutely, you should care about this. But yeah, this is my official way of contributing to the cause. The pattern is on Ravelry. I will link it in the description, and I'll be grateful for every single sale. So, which means that now we're moving on to the next point, which was the original topic of this episode, because this weekend there's a yarn festival happening in Vienna, which is the Wollträume Wien, and it happens biannually. And I'm still not sure if that's twice a year or every 2 years, but in this case it's twice a year. It happens in March and September, and it's always on a Saturday and Sunday. And today is Sunday, the 21st of September, and I'm going today because I had other plans yesterday. This time, what am I wearing? I'm actually wearing something that I made. Like, as one does at a yarn festival, like, you really want to kind of show off the things you made. But we're expecting 28 degrees Celsius today in Vienna. But what am I wearing? This is the Maia top by, I don't even know who. I will add that, like, here probably, or up there, that info. I made this, I think, I think at this point it may be 3 years ago. This is made of Sannesgarn Tinline, which is a fingering weight yarn. It's a mix of linen. I think it also has viscose and some other stuff as well. And this is knitted on 3mm needles, and I remember it being a pain, because I think it was knitted flat, if I remember correctly, and it's a tight gauge, and the yarn was very splitty. It's a dream to wear though. Like, this feels like nothing, and it feels so soft and nice. I really like this top, but it also took a while to knit. So this is the most weather appropriate item I own. So welcome back to myself, I guess. So there was a bit of a change of plans, because originally I intended to actually film for you. I did do a what I'm wearing thing earlier, and I changed what I wore because vibes. So I was actually wearing this knitted lace top that I made out of a vegan sock yarn, which it's called Lana Grossa Mellenwald 100 risotto, cotone risotto, something like that. And it's such a nice yarn. Quite splitty, but I heard from multiple people that it sort of feels like silk, so that is amazing. I think the fiber content is something like cotton, bamboo, viscose, probably some polyamide. I'm not sure exactly, but this is a drops pattern actually that I modified a bit. I think it's called the Smiling Honey Top, and I switched the center lace motif for a different one because I didn't like the one from the pattern so much. But yeah, Smiling Honey Top. So now to the whole Fiber Festival thing. Sorry. I planned to film there, but I realized there that I don't want to do that. Like, I just felt so uncomfortable even just taking photos of the stands, and I was just not feeling it. I have to be real, it's unfortunately I'm not going to show you any video footage because there is none. Which is a bit unfortunate because I love watching videos of fiber festivals. I think it's always great content. I just love watching it and seeing all the colors, but no, not for me, unfortunately. But I can show you what I got there. I did not really go there with a plan, but also not with like this endless thirst for yarn. I just decided that if I saw something that I loved, I would maybe get it. And only if I had a plan for it. And there are 3 things I got there. First of all, I got a knitting pattern, and I actually didn't buy it there. I got it on Ravelry, but the designer was there, and she had this beautiful shawl. And maybe I should actually sit a bit over here, or no, here. I should have learned my lesson from last time, but I will put pictures here. There was this beautiful lace shawl with this like leafy lace motif. It's a very interesting pattern because it's modular, and you basically work multiple squares of the leafy pattern that you sew together, and then you have like this type of V shape, and then you basically fill it up with a triangle to make a huge triangle shawl. And I have yarn for it. It is made for, I think, a lace weight yarn, but I still have something that I can use instead. I have exactly the correct amount of Knitting for Olive cotton merino in Dusty Blue Whale. Looks like this. I don't know if the color comes out nicely. And I have exactly the right amount, so I thought, yes, buying patterns is very easy, and I have a lot of patterns that I haven't knit up yet, but if I have exactly the correct quantity, like, I just had to. And the designer gave me her card. She's called Rosa Hibiscus, so pink hibiscus, and she's on Etsy and on Ravelry and on lovecrafts.com. This is her card. I find it very fancy that she actually laminated it, which may be perfect for when I knit the shawl and I have issues and I need support, and so I can cry all over the card and not damage it. Wonderful. So much for that pattern that I got. And now on to the probably most exciting part for people who watch this type of content, the yarn. I got 2 skeins of yarn. And the first one is actually a commercial yarn, and it's by Biche. Lamb's wool decay, I think it is. It's this here, and it probably just looks grey here. But it's actually very colorful in itself. Like it has all sorts of colors that are just spread throughout the skein. I don't know, maybe you can see it here. If not, I'll just insert a picture. But this has 170 meters or 185 yards. It says decay or light worsted weight. Wonderful, because I am thinking that I'll make a pair of gloves out of this. Probably the world's simplest mittens pattern. Yeah, not gloves, mittens. It's the same word in German, so I always confuse the two because you can't use them interchangeably. But a pair of mittens probably. And I am looking forward to knitting this up because recently I heard about this brand a lot, and yeah, when I saw it I was just curious and the colors were so nice, so I thought I'd give it a try. So that's Biche. And the second skein I got is very exciting. It's a yarn by Greenery, who is one of the main organizers of this whole yarn festival. Her name is Doris Flandorfer, and she has her dyeing studio here in Vienna, but on the other side of the city, in a very calm area. And she's a very nice person and does beautiful colorways. And a few years back, I actually got a single skein of her yarn that she sold on Instagram. And I went to her studio with my bike, and it was quite a far away. And I remember it was like 35 degrees that day, so insanely hot. But I got a beautiful yarn and I still haven't used it because I actually meant to make like fingerless gloves, like long ones, but then I just decided against it. But the yarn that I got, that is so exciting, is sock yarn. It's a fancy sock yarn, and just look at it. Isn't that the most gorgeous yarn you've ever seen? Like, isn't that the... It's a cobalt blue basically with a bit of pink mixed in. Like, I think I'll have to insert a picture to really show you this in detail, but it has like light hues of pink that shine through sometimes, and I love this color so much. And I know what this is going to be because I have a few hand-dyed skeins, fancy skeins of fingering yarn that I got because they were pretty, as one does. And now I have, I think, exactly the right amount, like 4 or 5 different ones to make one of those large West knit shawls. And I was thinking probably the Go Dynamo Shawl, which theoretically uses only 2 colors, so 4 skeins, 2 each of a color, contrasting colors. But I mean, what stops me from using more? I think it would be quite lovely, and I will have to figure it out a bit because well, I don't want to run out of one color in the middle of a section, but I think some wonderful person probably already wrote down like the exact amounts of each color you need for each section, so I could do some math in that way. And I mean, if I run out of one, I could just use another color. I mean, nothing stops me. But that's the plan I have for this yarn, and maybe I'll get to it this autumn. Who knows? now I have 2 big shawls that I want to make. I don't know how smart of a decision that was, but it's a decision. I have quite a few different fingering weight yarns, so I definitely have enough choice. Yeah, but that's all for the festival. I originally planned to go there with my knitting group, but some people got injured, some people got sick, and some people were too broke to go. And I can imagine it not being very fun to be at a yarn festival while not being able to buy yarn, so I completely understand that. But it was nice anyways. I did a bit of tatris there. I made some progress on the cypress trees. Like I started out around here and I filled up around 5 trees with the pink, and I have like this much more to go in this row, so I don't know if I'll actually do this today or some other time, but it's so easy to take on the go because it's mindless, so I may just take this as my being out and about project. Yes, but I think that is probably everything. If I forgot anything, so be it. Good, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'll show my socials here, my Ravelry, my Instagram. Put a box over here, you can find me there, and if you want to, I'd love to link up with people and make new connections, because I love to yap about yarn and it's nice to have this thing in common. So have a lovely day and bye bye.